Indeed, and? Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas yet. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. It would seem to be the case, yes. But that contradicts the two testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man say it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, they heard the gunshots. It was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Order, order! I'm back to forcing the R's again. What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, the witness says he heard the gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious! What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butcher's claim that he heard the gunshot before midnight? One of the few times this will ever be said. Larry's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. The other picture! The other picture, other picture, other picture, other picture. Yes! Look at this photograph. Look at this photograph! Sorry, had to be done. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh yeah? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It's why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Blah! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard the gunshot, it was most definitely Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that was the case. Then, where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera was also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were two sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge! The camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There is no proof that a loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. While the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera. Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear! Clear! Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any. Would it be this pistol bullet? It has to be the bullet. Would it be the pistol or the bullet? Oh. Oh. Duh. 3 times. This is my evidence. The murder weapon. Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd gunshot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Who was doing the shooting then? Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly! If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why? Oh, I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes. Ah! What's wrong, Nick? I have it. I have it. Huh? Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Huh? Yeah, I remember it. The murder in the case had the same idea as the murder in this case had the same idea as the murder in that case. What do you mean? Maya. Yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. Got a hunch, and now I'm going to run with it. Right. I mean, is that safe? Safe? We've already gotten the guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. Just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor? Yes, Mr. Wright. The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murder in this case other than Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on the lake. It's shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on their boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be no other than the man on the boat. I admit, it is hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time in the photograph. Timestamps on the photo says 00:15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright? Are you quite mad? Explain who it is sitting in the boat. Edgeworth and the murderer. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? Yes. Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's face. I'm not sure what to make of all this.